Hey, John Sonmez from simpleprogrammer.com. So I got this email the other day, and I thought I would just do a video right away to answer this question because it's a pretty good one, and I want to get this information out there. So anyway, Britt asked this question. It's actually a pretty long question, so I'm going to condense it down, but it's basically in regards to getting a degree, a CS degree, and working at the same time. So Britt is a Python developer, and she is working on her online CS degree. So here's kind of the scenario. So she's basically started this online degree program, and she is a developer at a fairly large company, and she's got this goal. She wants to get her CS degree while she's working, and so her goal is to take one class semester while working full time, and hoping to leave her job in 1 year and 11 months, and then take 8 courses and degrees as a full-time student. So taking 8 courses full-time, and then she says that will put her at finishing the degree in 2 years rather than 4 years, which that's pretty good. That makes a lot of sense to me. So like, to condense this down, she'd be working full time and taking 1 course a semester for up until like September 20th, 2017. And then after that point, she'd take 6 months to finish the degree at 4 courses a semester for like September 20th to December 8th. So that's like that. Is that about 2 semesters? September? Oh no, that's September to December. So 1 semester doing 4 courses. So that makes sense. That seems a little short, though. I don't understand how you can finish a degree in that time, unless you already have credits, Britt. I'm assuming you must already have some credits. So you must be at the end game of this degree. That's the only thing that makes sense to me here. So the worry here is, or she says here that she'll have 3.5 years of work experience after she completes her degree, and and then she'll of course have the computer science degree. And she wants to know if there's anything to worry about with that plan. Will it look bad to future employers if she takes 6 months to finish the degree full time and continues to blog and build up her GitHub during that time? So first of all, Britt, this is good. This is really good, actually. I think that what you're doing is going to be the new thing that I recommend to people to do, because it's kind of the best of both worlds, right? Because I've weighed this out before, right? I've given my advice on should you get a degree, right, or should you just work? Because there's some value into just hitting the ground running and working and getting experience. Because while you're sitting in school for 4 years, you end up wasting a lot of valuable work experience time. Yeah, you're learning, but you're not making money. You're probably going to debt, and that's not good. So there's kind of that trade-off there, and different people choose different things, but you got to kind of figure that out. But I usually recommend to go to school and work at the same time if you can, and that's what you're doing here. But I like how you're gonna take the last 6 months. Oh yeah, it's 6 months. You're gonna take the last 6 months, so that's 2 semesters, to do 4 courses a semester to finish your last 8 courses. That makes a whole lot of sense to me, and I'll tell you why. Because there's no employer out there that's gonna have a problem with you taking 6 months to finish your degree. Now, if you took 4 years, or you were just going towards your degree full time and you had no work experience, that's a problem. You can't get a job, but a junior developer job, you might be able to get a better job, but basically you're not going to have experience. So that's not good. If you just work and you don't work on your degree, or you just do it part-time, so it takes you 4 years instead of 2, that also kind of stinks, because you got the work experience, but it's going to take you so long to get the degree. So I like this. I like what you've done here. This makes a lot of sense to me. Like I said, I think I'm going to recommend this, because I really can't imagine that taking the 6 months is going to be any kind of problem to an employer. It doesn't make any sense to me that someone would care about that. In fact, it probably is going to be a plus for you, honestly. Like, if I saw that, I'd be like, wow, this person knows what they're doing. They got this figured out, and they're smart. They're getting work experience, and they're getting the degree, and they're doing it quickly. So I would definitely see that as a plus. It doesn't mean everyone will, but I would definitely see it as a plus. And it makes a lot of sense. And hopefully, doing it this way, you're not getting debt. You should be, I'm assuming you can pay for your degree from the work that you're doing. If you're taking out loans, though, I will tell you, do not do that. Like if you're working a full-time job, trust me, you don't need to do that. Just, save money and be frugal. But it sounds like you're on the right path. I mean, this is good. Like, do not worry about this. The other part of this email, Britt describes kind of some problems, doesn't really want to be working at this job, wants to get out of there, long commute and stuff, and spending a lot of time at the work. So I just wanted to give a couple of points on this. So Britt, you mentioned that you're working 11 to 13 hours a day at work. Stop that. Don't do that. 8 hours. That's it. Like, I mean, unless you're seriously going to jeopardize your job, and even if you would, I would still say you got to draw the line somewhere. Like, you can't just get run over. Like, working 10 to 12 hours, whatever, working more than 8 hours is pretty unreasonable in my book. That's where I draw the line. I mean, if you don't do this now in your career, you're not going to have a boundary, right? It's important to have boundaries, and it's going to get crossed. And you're going to be spending a lot of your productive time, building something in someone else's empire. Once you can like get your time back and start using it for you, there's a lot of things you can accomplish. I mean, you might not want to be an entrepreneur now or build a business or something like that, but if you do in the future, you're going to need those hours, and those are going to be valuable. And they're just going to be valuable for you for relaxation, for enrichment, for doing other things, for not getting burned out. So trust me on this one. Like, push back and like start just working the 8 hours. It's going to make your school easier as well. The other thing that I saw in here is you mentioned that you want to get a CS degree for your own appetite for learning. Good, that's great. Yes, but to reduce some of my imposter syndrome, no. You don't worry. Like, a degree doesn't mean anything, right? I mean, it's hard. Everyone has imposter syndrome, right? That's successful in any way. But don't let the degree be the thing, and I'll tell you why. It's not that the degree is meaningless. It's that if you keep on reaching for the next thing, right? If you keep on saying, okay, once I get the degree, then I'll be qualified. Then I won't be an imposter. Then it's going to be something else, right? You got to just realize that you are valuable already, that you're not an imposter, that you're doing a job, you're getting paid for a job, you're okay. You don't need something else. And believe me, I'm only telling you this because I'm susceptible to the same thing, right? I'll be setting a goal so far out. I was just talking about this in some context the other day about how, like, well, when I get to this, then I'll feel like I've made it. Or when I get to this, then I'll feel like I've earned it, or I'm confident, or that that I'm a good person, or whatever it is. And it just keeps on going. Like, you never get there. So I would encourage you to stop that. And then, yeah, everything else, I mean, I think, just stick in there. It sounds like you're in a good job market from your email, and yeah, you're not going to have any problem. I can't imagine. You're doing all the right things. You're blogging. You said you got GitHub. You're working currently at your job and getting that degree. Your future is going to be nicely set. So this is really good. Like I said, I wouldn't worry about it. I will warn you one thing, because I detect a little bit of burnout and gosh, just want to be done with this thing. I'd say two things. One, obviously, if you cut those work hours back, that's going to help some, but realize that you're in the grind right now. This is the grind, right? Everyone has to go through the grind. It sucks, but you grind it out. You make it. You get there, and then life is going to be better. You got to pace yourself to make it through the grind, right? So that's the key. And once you get there, then things get better. But the other way you get through the grind is you stop living in the future, right? So, it seems like the best way to get through the grind is to go out and live in the future. This should have been like 5 videos. Anyway, it seems like the best way to get through the grind is to go out and live in the future, is to like imagine the day when you get that new job, when you don't have to come into this job anymore, right? And that's not good. What you got to do is you got to live in the present. You got to figure out what's good today. Like start throwing yourself into the current work that you're doing and finding a way to enjoy it, even though it's a grind, right? I mean, it's there's going to be painful elements to it, of course, but you got to find the joy in that while you're going. Look, just start. I encourage you to wake up every morning with an attitude of gratitude. Just like start thinking of the things that you're thankful for. That's going to help you to get through this hard period and to actually even maybe have a little bit of fun and enjoy this. But yeah, that's the key, is because you've got to get this done in order to get to where you want to be. So you got to think strategically here about how are you psychologically, how are you mentally going to make it so that you can make it through this. Because the worst thing that happens is when you've got the plan, you've got the goal, you're on the right track, and then all of a sudden you spring a leak in the ship and another leak, and then you would have made it. So think strategically right now. That's what I encourage you to do, just like you're doing with the degree. That's great, and just make sure that in a mental place that you're going to make it. Pace yourself. Like I said, cutting back those hours is going to help. But yeah, I'm impressed with your plan. I wish you the best. I want to hear from you when you get that degree and you get that new job and everything. So thanks for sending me this email. Hopefully this will help someone else out there that's kind of struggling to in a similar situation. I know it's really hard to get started, but it sounds like you're doing everything right. So anyway, that's all I gotta say with this super should be 5 video answer. If you like this video, if you think it'll help someone, definitely share it. But I would love it if you subscribe to my channel, and I've got plenty of more videos on the way. So take care.